Hi, my name is Michelle O'Neill, and you are on Monday Mastery Moments. And I am so thrilled that you have taken the time to come here this morning. So I guess you could say Monday Mastery Moments on this morning with Michelle. A lot of M's. But I am so thrilled that you are here. And we're going to talk about my favorite subject. What's the number one mistake we're making with our loved ones? I bet you would never guess this one, but I'm here to tell you. So what is it? Hey, have you noticed that your kids or your grandkids or even your younger brother or sister are acting like they are entitled, like they feel entitled, like they deserve something, that you need to give them whatever it is, whether it's the new television, a new game, or whatever it is, some new Jordans or whatever shoes or clothes it is, some name brand, this or that. But they have this sense of entitlement, like we owe them something, like we owe them this job, like we owe them this, what do you call it, allowance for their chores or whatever. They have that sense of entitlement. Do they always act like they feel like they're perfect, or like you wouldn't understand what they're going through? You wouldn't understand how they feel. Well, I'm here to tell you that maybe it is our fault. Maybe we've been shielding them because we don't want them to go through what we've been through. We don't want them to deal with the pain or the disappointment or whatever that we've gone through. And in that, we have been doing them a disservice. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so what it is by not telling them, by not sharing with them the things that we've dealt with, the things that we've gone through, or the things that we've experienced, we've somehow shielded them from what we dealt with. And so they see us as this perfect person. They see us as never having to deal with what they had to deal with, or never going through what they're going through. And in a lot of ways, because today is different, the technology is different, and some of the things that they are dealing with, the availability of social media, you're right. We've never dealt with things to that extent, that whatever we do is out there, is right out there in the public for everyone to see, or people can bully us publicly and stuff. No, we haven't dealt with that. But we have dealt with things in certain, in a certain way. So if I miss your comments, I just want you to know that I will comment back to you. If you're catching me on the replay, remember to put #replay so that I will not miss your comments. But I just want to make sure that we get this. The thing is, our secrecy is not always the best policy. And what do I mean by this? I realize that from a conversation with my grandchildren and even a conversation with my daughter, that by me shielding them and not telling them the things they needed to know, they actually were missing, they were actually missing things that I had dealt with, and they didn't have the ability to process to them. So example, I was talking to my grandson one day, and he was asking me, Grandma, are y'all rich? Why are you always having things? And I said, baby doll, baby, we don't always have things. We worked hard for the things that we have. We had to save. We had to not get those name brand things, or those things that we would have normally gotten, that a lot of times you get because you decided that that's important to you. But we have not purchased these things. We have, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. But we have not allowed ourselves to spend so that later in life, we're able to have those things we want. Later, we're able to be able to get you the things that we want to get you. But that's only because we save. That's only because we will not buy something that we don't have the money for, that we will not use credit the way so many people use credit. So that was a lesson in itself, that no, we're not rich, but we saved for this. We knew to put money away. We learned to tithe. We learned to do these things. And by doing these practices early on, now we're able to do for you and take care of you. But he didn't know that. He just saw what we had now. He just saw what we were able to provide for him. When he asked for something, baby, what do you want? We were able to get it for him, but all within reason too. We didn't splurge or go crazy with the things. And it's making those decisions and teaching our kids how to think through that and the right decisions that they need to make. So that was one thing. And then I remember one time with my daughter, and she was going through a difficult time in her life. And one of the things she said, you wouldn't understand. You never had to feel like this. You never did this. And it was like, I realized then that she didn't understand what I had to go through. She didn't understand the things that I dealt with that were similar. And I never shared them with her because, one, I was embarrassed. I didn't want her to know that I dealt with those things, or that I wasn't perfect, or that mommy made bad decisions in her life. So I didn't share them. And I remember a time with my sister also. She never realized, she thought everything always went great. I was the entitled one. I was the one that always got what they want. But she didn't know some of the pains and the things that I went through. And when you share these things with your family, when you share these things with the one you love, they begin to realize that you have done things, one, to protect them, and that you've dealt with things also. And they begin to ask questions. Well, what did you do? How did you get through this? Why didn't this break you? And they can ask those questions. And that's what is so important. But I want you to understand something, that when we do these things, when we reveal these things, that you don't have to reveal everything, that you don't have to reveal the gaudy details, I guess we would say. Those are things that maybe we need to be careful about. Maybe we need to just use some common sense and some, my words are escaping me, but you know what I'm saying. So what I'm saying, you also need to take into consideration, what are their age? What is the age to the person that you're talking to? How you would say this to maybe a 5-year-old or a 12-year-old is different than you'd say to a 16-year-old or a 35-year-old. So you need to make your sharing age appropriate so that they understand exactly how you've dealt with these things, and the lessons that you can show them through this is age appropriate. How I tell you about money as a 12-year-old is different than how I would share with you about money as a 30-year-old. And so you gear those lessons, you gear that sharing to the age that they are. And then when you don't tell them these things, they lead to what do you call unrealistic assumptions about your life. So one of the other things is, I had to tell my grandson, I didn't have to tell him, but I was sharing with him. He was, again, that entitlement, thinking that I had this great, I've always had a home, I've always lived like this. And I shared with him, baby, one time me and your mom, we lived in a trailer. And he was like, what? A trailer? And it's that connotation that goes with living in a trailer park, in a trailer. But that's what we were able to afford at that time. And that's how I was able to provide for my daughter and myself. And him seeing me in that light, knowing that I didn't always have, that I had to make do, that I had to suffer some or deal with a different lifestyle, that made him see me in a different light. So no, grandma's not perfect. Mom's not perfect. Sis ain't perfect, but we've gotten through things. So you give them a small glimpse of the past and they're able to see their heritage, where they came from. And that's the thing, knowing my grandmother and growing up with her, and she used to take me to work with her. My grandmother was a maid, and I'm proud of what she did. I've never seen anyone that took such good care of the people she loved and the people she worked with and the things she did. I learned how to um, iron a napkin. I mean, not a napkin. What do you got? A handkerchief. How important it was. Just she took pride in how she ironed that handkerchief. She took pride in how she ironed that pillowcase, the sheets, all those things. She took pride in that. And that showed me how to take pride in the things that I had, how to take, whether, no matter how much it cost or no matter what we had, is that I took pride in it and I gave it my all. This is a lesson I learned from my grandmother. And these are the lessons that our children, our grandchildren, our younger sisters and brothers can learn from us. And so that's so important. The other thing is, a lot of times when we share these things with our loved ones, they know that they're not alone, that we've been there, that we've done that, and that we can empathize and feel with what they're going through. And that's important. That's important to those that we love. That's important to know that they're not alone, that you do understand what they're going to. Maybe not to the degree that they're going through it, maybe not in the same way that they're going through it, but there is some sense of understanding. Look, I can go on and on about this, but remember, during this time, especially, there is a wealth of things that we can share with those we love. There is a wealth of our heritage, our grandparents, our great grandparents that we can share with our children and as a family and as memories that will get us through this. If they've done it, if they've gone through it, then we can too. We can deal with this too. And I just want you to know, thank you, Janetta, for saying that. It's because shielding all the time can be detrimental. Yes, it can be detrimental to the relationships. Yes, we do need to be open and honest, but just be mindful of the age group, be mindful of not having to give all the gory details, and just making sure that you are mindful of the right thing to share at the right time. I hope this has helped you on Monday Mastery Moments with Michelle. But not only that, if you're finding yourself wavering on the best way to share or what to share, listen, I'd love to chat with you. And I will put that information down below in the comments below, so you know where you can contact me at a later time. But not only that, good morning, Winter. It is so great to see you there. And let me tell you, I have been so blessed by your posts. So I want to tell you, thank you. Keep it up. Keep being bold. I really appreciate it. But before I get off, I want you to know also that I have an upcoming master class coming up, that wonderful like-minded women, we will be getting together and talking about how we can master our Monday, how we can get together and really conquer this thing. Yes, thank you, Stacy. Stacy, thank you for telling me that this was good advice and information for you. So again, God bless you, Winter. I'm glad that you have taken the time to come on here. I look forward to talking to you again. I have a group that I have started, and we call it the Coronavirus Mastery Journal. And I'd love for you to come into the group. Come on over, ladies. And it is definitely strictly ladies, but we will be dealing with, and each day we will have a prompt, and I have a prompt for you that I need to put out there today. But each day there is a journal prompt that not only you can put by yourself, you can not only put in your personal journal, but that you can journal on in our group and share with us the things that you are doing related to the daily prompt. Until next time, I can't wait to see you. I hope this has helped you in your Monday mastery moment. Take care. Bye bye.